Hey guys, it's Core Ross and welcome to 6 News. So today we have the designer notes for the mid-season balancing patch. So this of course brings us the balancing graphs which we get every mid-season now, and always really interesting to look at. So this is our attackers right here. It looks like, to be honest, it's actually looking okay, I think. Ash has got a little bit of a higher pick rate than she did last time, but it's tiny amount and reasonably not too bad. These operators here are all pretty good for win rate, so they're pretty balanced. And I think they'd probably like to have more of the operators down here when it comes to pick rates, but there's no crazy ones out here, which is good. And down here we do have a bunch of not so good operators who probably do need a few buffs and that, but otherwise, you know, this is not actually looking too bad. We can see that the new operator Cali is down here. This is a trend now for new operators coming in kind of underpowered, and Cali is continuing that trend, so she's down there. Glaz is not doing as bad as he was last time, so that's good, but still underperforming. Nuke's underperforming. We've got the shield operators not doing well. The rest, these guys aren't doing too bad when it comes to win rate, so yeah, not the worst. Finka's actually doing okay for win rate, but not many people are playing her. Blackbeard's doing okay, but again, not many people are playing him. And yeah, these attackers are doing really nice out here. Sledge is actually pulling up and getting into the higher pick rates. He always used to be down here, but now he's pushing up. However, for the defenders, it is the complete opposite. Jager is at 90% pick rate. This is really, really bad. And it means like for every platinum and above ranked game, Jager is in 90% of them. That's not good. That's too often. He's too predictable. There's going to be a Jager main in those games, so not good, and that of course means that he's going to get some significant nerfs at some point. We can see that Wamai, who was supposed to hopefully half Jager's pick rate, has not managed to even touch his pick rate. And there's plenty of outliners here. We've got Chanka doing terrible. I expect he's going to get reworked. I really expect him to get reworked for the 6 Invitationals. I think they're going to show that off. So I think we're going to see him completely change, but we'll see. Castle not doing too good. Goyu's actually doing horrible. This to me is not a big surprise because it's hard to use his shields well. And I've killed so many defenders with Goyu's shield when I'm on attack. So I'm really not surprised he's down here. Warden also doing terrible. Even though he's been given some buffs, he's still doing horrible. And then Clash is actually doing okay. Like, really okay. Now, she's hard to get picked, so whoever's picking her must have some tactics or some good ways of using her, and she's doing really well. Also remember that Clash was actually banned for pretty much half the season, so that might be affecting the numbers here too. And then defenders with really good win rates is Capcan up here. Now, Capcan and Frost, switch around quite a lot when it comes to their win rates, so this isn't really an issue because next season they'll probably be down here or they'll be down here. So this is just season to season, they kind of change. And Legion's doing pretty good. Valkyrie's doing pretty good. I could see them touching Valkyrie eventually. Like, I don't know what they're going to do, but I feel like the cameras maybe will get a nerf someday. But there's no mention of that, and that's pure guess. It might be they'll actually leave her alone. Legion, though, will be getting changed in the future. We'll go over that shortly as that is in here. And these other operators doing pretty good. There's actually quite a good chunk in the center here where there is the perfect position for them to be. So that's not too bad. And Smoke needs a little bit of a buff, which he is getting with this, so that's good for him too. Now let's move on to pick and ban. So this is definitely interesting. We can see that really pick and ban hasn't worked out well for Jackal. Even with his rework, he is still getting banned a lot. And of course, this is platinum and above, so they still don't like dealing with him, and as such, his pick rate is still very high. But maybe as time goes on, maybe this will drop. Now, Blackbeard up there in a second, along with Thatcher, and then going down to Monty. And yeah, reasonable. These seem like, pretty decent choices. These, like, I would say Jackal getting picked, he's getting banned a bit too often. But getting rid of Blackbeard, getting rid of Thatcher here, getting rid of Monty, I think they're good tactical picks. So yeah, not seeing anything silly. Callie, I'm surprised to see her actually in this graph, considering how bad she's doing. But maybe there is some really good high-level players out there actually doing something with her that obviously these players are scared of. And the ban rate for the defenders. So Mira is really high. Now I can imagine, if you're going to load up into a map where she's good, you're going to probably ban her. It's a really good choice. Tactically, very good choice. But it is, bad to see that it's so high, even though I totally understand it, and it is a tactical choice. Then we got Echo, who of course is really good on bombs, so he's getting banned a lot too. And then Valkyrie, Maestro, and Legion here. So yeah, interesting. It is a pity. We're still seeing. I'd love to be a bit flatter, this graph, but I can see why people are banning those operators. So I think nothing kind of crazy and out of the ordinary with the bans. Now let's move on to the changes. So this one is quite a big one, but I'm thinking for most people, you're probably not going to notice a difference, as ADS time, so aim down sight, is going to increase for all weapons. They have taken some feedback, which is that secondary SMGs were feeling really sluggish, so they're going to slightly increase them so they won't be as bad as they were or are in the test server right now. And like I say, I think for most people you're not going to notice, but for the high level players you might feel it slowing down a little bit, which overall I'm hoping it'll kind of slow down the gameplay just a touch, and that'll be good, I think. Then we got a little buff for Blackbeard, so his ADS penalization is only applied when his gun shield is equipped. So pretty simple. When you're not going to equip, you're going to have fast aim down sight times. So overall, if you don't have that shield on, you're going to be a bit quicker at aiming. And if you got the gun shield on, you're going to be slower at aiming. So I guess it's a risk reward. You can decide not to go with the shield and you'll be able to aim that bit quicker. So up to you. And I do call it a buff, but maybe it's not really a buff. It'll depend how people use it. Then we've got Echo, major nerf for him and a major buff for Dokkaebi. So Dokkaebi is going to be able to hack into the Echo drone. He's also going to be able to phone Echo as well. So overall, a huge difference for Echo. And of course, it's going to really affect the teams that run an Echo every single round. So if you're noticing every defense round there's an Echo, then you're going to be able to bring Dokkaebi. You're going to be able to kill one of the defenders. Maybe he's trying to spawn peek or something. You'll be able to grab the phone, and then you're into Echo's cameras. And then you have potentially 2 drones on the bomb sites that you can then use to get really good intel. So it's a huge nerf to Echo and a really nice buff to Dokkaebi. Curious overall how it's going to play out, because of course a lot of people are just banning Echo. So if they're banning Echo, they don't really have to bring a Dokkaebi at all. Whereas if they don't ban him, then at least maybe they have an option to bring Dokkaebi. Gonna be curious to see how it plays out. Then we've got reduced recoil for Ela. So after the first 16 shots are fired, it should return to recoil similar to what is currently in live. Now I've tested the recoil on controller and I've not found that to be the case. The recoil seems to be consistent the entire way through the entire magazine of 40 bullets, and it doesn't seem to get worse after the 16 rounds are fired. So I am curious about that, because that's a really nice buff for controllers, and it means I'm going to be playing Ela a lot more now. And I'm not seeing anyone test mouse and keyboard recoil, because I'm not the best person to test that in the slightest. I'm kind of curious if it's as good on mouse and keyboard, or if it does actually have that recoil that increases after. Because you can see in my testing with the controller, even at close range, the recoil on live swings to the side, left and right, so much that you could actually miss a player at close range just because of that. Whereas now you can put almost every single round on target, which is awesome. But I'm going to be curious overall just to see how other controller players and console players are going to feel about that. Then we've got Finka, who is getting an increase to her spear. So this is going to do more damage. That's her assault rifle. And overall, it's just an underperforming assault rifle, and giving it more damage should hopefully help it. Then we've got the opposite of that for Jager. He is getting a reduction in damage. And they also talk about, we're still tinkering with Jager, but with Wamai now in the game, we feel it's an appropriate time to make some moves and try to reduce the power of his assault rifle. Now, of course, Wamai, I don't think it's had the effect they were hoping for. Now, maybe in future seasons that will change. Maybe the Wamai will start to eat away at that pick rate, but it doesn't sound like it. So now that they actually have him in the game and they've seen that it doesn't really do anything to his pick rate, they're starting to hit him. So right now, he is getting a reduction in damage to his gun, which they say is still the best weapon on defense. And that's amazing, considering this gun has lost an ACOG and it's also had other nerfs. It is still the best gun on defense, which is crazy. And then for all the Jaeger mains out there, They say this is the first step towards trying to bring the most popular defender a bit closer to his peers. Now, let's just have a look at that graph again. So he is over 90%. So what can they do? What are they going to have to do? They're going to have to hit him pretty damn hard to bring him down to like 50. Like, we're talking significant nerfs. And I know plenty of Jaeger players who don't even put their ADS down. They just play with that gun. And it's gonna take something big to bring him down. So yeah, I don't know what they have planned, but I would assume that their plans are gonna be set in motion probably with the 6th Invitational. I think we'll see another balancing change there. Maybe not a huge one, maybe not nothing crazy, but they're gonna eat away at that power for a little bit for sure over the next few seasons. So get ready for some nerfs in the future, but for the moment, you still have plenty of time to play Jaeger and have some fun with him as is currently set up. Then we've got Maestro. So Maestro is losing the ACOG on the Alda. Now, this is an interesting one, specifically for me, because I play this guy a lot. Been playing him quite a lot recently. Absolutely love his ACOG, and I've been using a lot of tactics that involve that ACOG. So I'm curious to how I am going to adapt to this, because I still love the gun. The gun is awesome, and I might still be able to become useful at it. But also, I am quite a roamer as well, so I might switch to playing a faster operator once he loses that ACOG. I'm curious to how I will change my gameplay for it. But yeah, it's going to be a big change. And I'm not too concerned with him actually losing the ACOG. It feels like he's still a powerful operator to me. But there is a lot of characters out there, and especially a lot of characters still get added into the game that can destroy his turrets. And they say here, we think the Alda is powerful even without the ACOG, and we want to see if its removal will highlight its other great qualities. So it does seem like kind of from this last little bit that they kind of are thinking maybe they'll bring it back. You know, if it doesn't quite work out, maybe they'll bring back the ACOG to the Alda. But right now, it's going away. So yeah, I think we'll have to wait and see if that sticks and it doesn't just come back in the future with another balancing patch. But certainly for this, the next 3 months, he's not going to have an ACOG. And it's going to be a big change for me, and I wonder how big it's going to be for Maestro overall. Then we got Nuke and Smoke, who are both getting their SMGs buffed. This should be a good fix for both of them, but I don't expect it to really help them enough. It's already an underperforming SMG. This will help, but I don't think it's going to be enough of a change to fix Nuke or to fix Smoke. Because I think there's a knife edge with Nuke. As soon as you make her too good, and there's literally a drop off when you make her too good, where she becomes so freaking good that she'll be amazing. And Smoke, you can push up the damage of that SMG without having to worry about it. We know that there's a rework to his Smoke as well coming in the future, but it's still not shown up yet. So hopefully maybe next season we'll see that. But certainly right now, this is a nice little buff, but it's not going to make a huge change. Then we've got Ying. So this is kind of a mini rework in a way. They're making the Candelas a lot better. So you'll now be able to see the Candela through walls, just like you can with Gridlock's tracks that they're deploying, so you know where it goes off. They're also improving the cluster flashes, and they're also increasing the number. So it used to be 6, it's now going to be 7. The first one will detonate at floor level, the 3 around hip level, and an R3 at head level. This means hopefully you'll be able to saturate the room easier. The pellets will also detonate quicker, so the ball will go off, and then the actual pellets that come out, the flashes that come out, will detonate even quicker, so that the rim will get flashed far faster. And then the pellets will also bounce off objects, so instead of it hitting something and dropping to the ground, it'll bounce and potentially go over an object, which will then potentially flash more people. So overall, making the Candelas really consistent. I've seen a lot of really good Ying players out there because their gun's good, and this means that her flashes are going to be far more lethal, and I could see this being absolutely great for her. So this could be a huge change. We'll have to see with the next balancing graphs, but I think Ying is going to get a nice boost out of this. And then we've got Legion. So Legion, he's too good basically. He's got too many qualities. Because he's an intel operator, he's a good roamer, he's good for doing damage, he's really good for just being a pain in the ass, and As such, they say that he actually gets banned quite a lot, which is not really in the graphs. He's down here at 6%. And I would say that, that's not the worst. But I do wonder, because that's platinum, I do wonder if at lower levels he gets banned far more often. And maybe that's why they are, getting worried about him. And certainly he's got a good gun, he's got everything. He is basically the perfect operator right now. So yeah, they're going to be touching on him later. So nothing yet, but it sounds like there's going to be major changes coming for Legion in the future. So that's the balance and changes and the developers explaining themselves and why they're doing this stuff. Let me know what you think, and also have a guess about what's coming with the next season. It sounds like there's going to be some major changes to some operators, and also I'm curious if you guys would do something more brutal when it comes to nerfs, or would you want to buff other operators? Anyway guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.